Everybody, welcome to this work session of the Lake County Board of County Commissioners. It is June 9th, 2026 at 12:07 p.m. The only item on this agenda for this work session is discussion and board direction regarding monument and signage policies for the courthouse lawn. This will be led by our county attorney, Matt Hobbs.
Yeah, so I tried to put together a memo for you guys that sort of lays out sort of the legal framework, which is quite complicated in this area. And I think for purposes of discussion, maybe we break it down in a couple different ways. You know, one is sort of temporary signs like the advocates do for, you know, domestic violence awareness, and then there's the more permanent monuments like the stone out here.
The rock.
The rock. So the permanent ones are a little easier legally because that's your speech. You know, that's the government speaking. So you have a lot of discretion in terms of what you allow or what you don't allow in terms of permanent monuments, and so that's probably a little easier one to tackle. I would think that would require some sort of resolution from the board. It probably wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't want that to be an administrative level decision to allow a permanent monument on the courthouse. Just taking a guess. The temporary signage is a little trickier because, you know, it's really hard to say one person's allowed to put signs and not another. And do it in a way that meets, you know, the First Amendment test, and I think historically most courthouses have shied away from allowing that type of speech just because of wanting to remain some level of neutrality to the community. But again, it's just historically happened. Doesn't mean you can't say, okay, just because it's happened in the past, we're not going to allow it in the future, as long as you're doing it in a manner that doesn't, you know, shut off somebody's speech, like targeting them. Like, so you're allowed to change policies as long as you're not doing it, you know, targeting an individual. So there's not a lot of policies that I was able to find out there. Jefferson County and Boulder County have policies. They're not really specific to courthouses. They're specific to all county grounds. A lot of courts themselves, not a lot, there's Denver District Court has enacted orders regarding their courthouses, basically saying no signs. The US District Court, same thing. But I think historically it just hasn't been a large enough issue for probably most communities to regulate or even think about. You know, another issue, I don't know whether it seems like my understanding is the courthouse lawn also gets used for events periodically, especially during the summer. So that's sort of a different probably category where that could be handled under temporary or special, you know, use permits, and allowing sort of signs associated with the event, you know, under the use permit. So kind of wanted to, I think, probably just open up to the board and get some thoughts about, first of all, do you even want to allow temporary signage? And if so, we probably need to figure out how we can regulate it or allow it to happen in a manner that, you know, follows the First Amendment and and probably allows staff some pretty clear guidance, and also allows some, you know, appeal rights if a decision is made that, you know, they disagree with the administrative decision, they can appeal it to the board or something like that. But probably the first order is do you guys want to allow that, you know, form of speech on the courthouse lawn?
Temporary, this is just referring to the temporary aspect stuff right now.
Yeah.
What about, like, where does the line stop with signage or start with like displays? Like, are they kind of gonna all be considered the same thing? Like, if we say, it feels like what I'm wondering about is like, where do we have the Christmas Santa Claus and nativity scene versus like the advocates things, which, you know, both feel important, but they're two totally different things.
Well, my understanding, the Christmas is the county puts that on,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So they are two different things, and I think it's really confusing to probably mix them together. So
Okay.
let's put that aside,
Okay.
because there's also the issues with the establishment clause. I think you can certainly do those nativity scenes, and you know, there's really no issue there, because there's some historical context to it. But it's really the temporary signage when you're allowing other people to speak on your lawn, that's probably the larger issue.
Okay. That's gonna be the stickier part of this subject.
That's the big one.
Okay. So, with regards to like basically everyone we have in the room right here, what I wanted to try to figure out, the goal is that, and I think we've kind of gone over this a little bit, but I'll just recap, was that we agreed to let these guys put up a borough monument sign, and then the previous staff identified the issue of like, well, if you're gonna say yes to this, you're gonna say yes to everything. But what you're saying here is that whatever the county accepts becomes its own expression, just be selective and have a written policy with neutral criteria. And the county has broad discretion to accept or reject donated monuments. So, as the Supreme Court noted in Pleasant Grove versus Summum, the government is entitled to say what it wishes. So basically, if we pick one thing that we've already said, yeah, do this, wait, hold on, let us double check and make sure we're not getting ourselves in trouble here, we could still go ahead and say, here's this one we've already agreed to, let's do that, and then get a policy in place so we can be selective about what else goes in.
Yeah, I mean, you could approach it that way, or you could get the policy in place and move forward. I mean, either direction, whatever you guys wanna do.
Okay. Then it basically, with that subject would just boil down to functionality and making sure it's not in the way of like the food tents for boom days or anything like that would be my biggest concern with moving forward with one of the things we've already said, yeah, let's do this too. It sounds like the temporary stuff is where it gets a lot trickier.
Temporary stuff is much trickier, for sure. I mean, I think the permanent stuff, I mean, I don't know how you wanna approach that, but I think probably that's just a case by case determination. You know, I don't know how else to even put a policy in place other than, you know, as they come.
The policy will just, you know, it's gonna have, you know, stay neutral and probably be like, well, who's gonna take care of this thing? Is this gonna be up to Public Works to seal the wood every couple of years or fix any sun damage, or do we need to polish the grass, or, you know, things like that? Cause I don't wanna add workload to a department that's already stretched thin trying to take care of all the stuff around here that's falling apart, but I do wanna honor what we'd said when we first got in here, like, yeah, let's let this thing rip, and then we pumped the brakes out of caution, which was really disappointing for some people, cause then they went ahead and made the monument and built it, and it was like, whoa, hold on, so it's like sitting in someone's garage somewhere or something, and that's just, I'm just one of three of us, so I feel like I'm doing all the talking, so I'm gonna stop and let everybody else chime in.
Well, it's a work session, you can talk as much as you want, we'll just take turns. We're all listening. Obviously thought a lot about it. I feel bad too that we said yes and then, you know, we stopped and now it seems more complicated. And it's a lot to review and a lot of, you know, and there's multiple issues. Should we just take them one at a time?
I think that's the only way we're gonna get through this,
Okay.
yeah. Cause it's highly complicated, and if you wanna start with the permanent, you know, signage first, we can certainly shift to that one. You know, and and if it's, the count versus the county doing something or accepting a private donation, if it's a private donation, does it, have to be, I mean, all those issues, maintenance and everything else, whether that's something you wanna have in your policy and what, what's gonna be even considered for a permanent monument, yeah.
I still feel agnostic about this.
Yeah,
I still am like fine not having any rules and taking them one by one.
And
And
that's
saying yes to everything.
certainly an approach too.
I'm for the monument garden, I'm for the signs everywhere, and that's why we're doing this. That's why we
Yeah.
directed Matt to give us some guidelines, is so that we can say yes to things within the constraints that you all have brought up.
And if you're gonna take that approach, I would just have you guys do that, not
Right.
have staff
Right,
be put in the middle of that.
right, each one would come to us and we would make a
Right.
distinction every time.
Which would be your policy, right?
Right.
It's just like, hey,
Which is what has happened over the decades.
Okay, and then it would be up to us to be like, you know what, no, this one's gonna block the view of Mount Albert from everyone walking down the sidewalk, I'm not okay with that, or
They're like, no, we don't want another rock.
you want
Thanks.
another rock. You get a rock, and you get a rock, and you get a rock.
We have a snowman rock,
Yeah.
3 rocks on top of each other, and on top.
Cairns everywhere.
Cairns. BOCC Cairns. Sorry, it's a work session, we can do whatever we want right now.
Okay, well,
Matt, what do you think? I mean, I
well,
think that you and I have gotten kind of opposite, where you're like, man, we don't, if we can't treat everybody the same, let's have nothing.
I mean,
So what
their
do you
signs,
think?
it's not controversial at all, but the next one could be pretty controversial. The next board could be like, yeah, we wanna advocate for this group, let's just say it's Lifetime Fitness. It's a controversial group, what if they wanna put a monument up for their Leadville 100 Legacy Foundation,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What will happen?
What will happen?
What will happen?
Are you mocking?
No, I'm serious. No, I'm sorry, I'm being a little playful, but really I think that it's worth asking, like,
So
what
the question
happens
is,
then?
it's up to us to dictate to future boards?
They can change the policy though.
Yeah.
that's what I think it's, as a BOCC, maybe this is one of the things where we're just gonna have to put our trust in future itinerations of this group and be like, you know what, like, keep it classy.
We'll keep voting.
And is a permanent sign permanent? If we say yes, could the next board come in and say, we don't like it,
100%.
remove it?
Yeah.
That's
We can move that rock right now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I saw little kids playing on the rock, just gonna throw that out there. Might be dangerous, I don't know.
Well, that seems reasonable and frankly, it seems fair and easier.
Yeah. At the discretion of the board, I guess, with the
Mhm.
permanent stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not super open to tons of other monuments, but I do wanna honor the one that I was like, yeah, let's do this, this sounds like a great idea.
We might not have opportunity to say yes to a lot of monuments, like, they might not ever come across our desk.
I want
So-
a don't do wheelies on Sixth Street monument,
4 wheels on the floor, 2 wheels on the floor.
keep the
okay.
rubber on the ground in town.
Okay, well then should we move on to the temporary then?
Let's do it. I think there should be a permit process for the temporary and there should be a time
Time
limit.
that establishes temporary,
Yeah.
temporal.
Not a whole month or when you get to it and part of the process is you gotta clean it up. You get so many days, maybe based on historically what's been out there. I'm thinking the advocates. It's great, takes up the whole yard and for a month.
Mhm.
Yeah,
In October when people are like playing on the yard
yeah,
during TV. Where is one?
that would be my 2 cents.
So a permit process, an administrative permitting
An
process.
easy permit process.
Yes, yes.
No one can come and just start putting their signs out there. And do we need to differentiate religious temporary signs? The advocates
Well-
wanna put up their signs, could Christian church come up and say, you know, we want this sign that says God loves you?
Under the criteria I'm seeing here in section 3, you can restrict signs to protect courthouse functions. If you're drawing controversy that's distracting and could theoretically interfere with functions of the courthouse and staff, and is that too broad? Is that taking too much liberty with the verbiage, or?
I mean, it's, if you're gonna allow temporary signs, it's almost impossible to say this form of speech is okay and this isn't.
And what if the sign says Lake County government sucks?
They
Yeah,
do suck,
Exactly.
that's
What?
true. I'm talking about us, I'm sorry.
That would be,
We suck.
you would be hard pressed to say yes to the advocates and no to that and not survive
A lawsuit.
first lawsuit. Which I think is why most people just say no to everything.
I think it's pretty exciting.
Conversation piece. We could put it our own signs, if we don't suck.
No, we don't.
You do.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very playful.
So, let me make sure I got this right, we can stay pretty open with permanent stuff, but we're discussing potentially what, like, not allow temporary stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna allow it, I think you really gotta understand that you're opening it up to everyone.
Okay, loophole. Ready? Let's say, in October, we proclaim it to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And we request that the advocates partner with us to send the message of domestic violence impact in Lake County. Would that be coming from the government? Or would that then be something that was permitted by an outside group?
I think that's an interesting thought, yeah, I think that would probably be, you could probably say that's the government speaking, not.
Boom,
Did you find your L?
I'm looking for
Or your
it
Dan?
for you.
Sorry.
But
You guys.
then you're, I mean, that goes back to the questions, are we not allowing temporary signage unless it's the government sort of speaking?
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'm sorry, I'm hearing from these guys, I'm hearing from you guys. Potentially nervous about it being flung open. And I was looking for but we do see real value in something like the demonstration about domestic violence that impacts our community, that we are working towards reducing, and they're an important partner in that. So how do we make sure that that is allowed, but something that is not in law,
You
that
suck.
says you suck,
Yeah.
isn't allowed, so I was looking for that work through. So y'all could still see that we could
And
have
like,
it.
just for context, like, it's funner for us to talk about like someone who wants to say, you guys suck about us, but like, there could be some really nasty stuff that people would wanna put up there.
For
like,
sure.
Horrible, like, you know, just certain beliefs or things like that we would. Is there a way to make just a specific area designated for temporary signage? And then we can make sure it's booked up every single month, aside from partners we think are,
Yeah,
You know?
you could certainly enact, time, place, and manner restrictions, as they're called. and
Yeah.
Put timelines on them, say this is the area you get to use, all that's permissible.
like, I could book it up for a month with, in town, keep the rubber down sign. Don't drive like a knucklehead in town, or you're gonna ruin it for the rest of us OHVers around here. And then you could take a month and say, support the mineral belt, donate here.
I don't know, I like that it's open, especially in the summer, a lot of people sit out there and play with their kids and have picnics.
Could that be a part of the policy, would be like we allow temporary signage during times when it doesn't inhibit functions, of which could be community gathering on the grass to hang out in the sunshine. You get shoulder seasons and some winter stuff maybe for holidays and that's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you could certainly do that, say, you know, these months, no signs allowed, these months they are.
Okay.
It doesn't change the content of the signs though.
No, but if we were deliberate about making sure we would keep it booked up, unless someone came to us and was like, hey, and we're like, this is not offensive, this isn't gonna be a problem, this isn't gonna look bad on the community, we're gonna pull my keep the rubber side down in town signs for that month and let these people take that spot.
It feels like a little bit of
It's being selective.
number one, it's
Gatekeeping.
very sneak. It like obfuscates the intention of the policy,
Yeah,
but also I feel like that causes like administrative burden for our staff to keep track of that.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
oh
right.
God, it's almost up. What can
yeah,
we toss out there just to keep people from saying you suck? Or whatever, you know?
yeah. It's the darker sides of that I really worry about. People can tell me I suck all day, I signed up for this job, but it's the other things that,
Maybe that it would never happen. Maybe it's just the month of October is sign month and temporary sign month, and, because it should be open all summer, I think. When it's nice out, people want to sit out there. But we also have, the big sleigh thing, the Santa Claus, the reindeers and all that, so.
I think we get to draw the line between what our decorations are
That's us.
versus what signage is from other parties.
Yeah. And really, we're only talking about the advocates, I can't think of anybody else putting temporary signs out there, can you? Yeah, well.
But once we establish a policy, it makes it clear that like it is currently open right now.
Right.
So,
We're shining light on it, kinda.
mhm.
And I think we're going through all of this just to make sure the next handful of boards of commissioners don't have to deal with something that's complicated and end up being like, well, wait a second, there's not even really much existing policies around the state to base this off of. What you're saying, just some kind of vague language that maybe a couple other counties have, so I wouldn't even be surprised if we institute a policy that's kind of well thought out and has some guardrails that might end up getting copied by other counties.
Yeah, I mean, Boulders and Jefferson's are pretty thorough.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Or all the county property, yeah, it's just, I would probably bring something back along those lines as well, but I think the more controversial piece is the courthouse now.
Well, I'm gonna propose then that we do the no temporary signs. No temporary signs by outside groups.
Just by the county government can enact their own rules.
Then we could pass a resolution for October that would proclaim that domestic violence awareness month, and then maybe.
And even if we didn't have a proclamation about it being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we can still work with the advocates to put those out. But it's our request that they are there.
Okay,
Just like in April, we could have it be Fire Awareness Month without proclaiming it to be Fire Awareness Month, but we could
Okay.
work with our partners to say, is there anything you wanna put in the lawn? It's coming from us.
I mean, legally,
Right?
that's a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
okay,
I definitely worry about having any sort of temporary sign policy and just sort of opening it up and what that's gonna look like. It, like Matt said, it could end up being nothing, but it also could end up being a huge firestorm.
Let's not mess with First Amendment stuff.
And we're giving people ideas in this work session on the.
Yes, we are.
Brett! We'll pass this in like a month.
And I'll bring a policy back and we'll have another discussion about the policy and say, I just needed some direction from you all before I got too deep into that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's helpful.
alright, I see a path forward.
is there anything else you wanna talk about, Matt?
Just look at my memo here. I think that covers it. I think I can bring a policy back for you, I'll draft one to look at and take it from there, but I think I have enough direction at this point to get started.
Cool. And we can leave it just to the courthouse? I don't really wanna,
We can leave it to just the courthouse.
okay, I don't really wanna get into the whole, a blanket policy
Okay.
personally. And then when it comes to the permanent, I also don't want a policy that's like we just said, not administratively burdensome, but would come to
To
us.
board.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, it's hopeful for you guys.
Yes,
This little step, sorry it's taking us so long to
not
get
the
there.
blazing speed of local government.
Where does that leave these guys? Where does that leave us with the current situation with the?
Sounds like it's up to us.
Yeah, I think it's.
would we have to discuss that in a noticed,
I don't know what was
regular
done
meeting?
before, but yeah, if you're gonna make a decision on it, I would probably do that in a regular.
Regular meeting.
Regular meeting,
so it'll be an agenda item?
yeah.
Okay. We'll just take a double look at what spaces aren't gonna be in the way of anything and then figure out where it works.
Maybe take one last look at the sign, is the sign made? Cause I think there was some contention that the sign wasn't as nice as we would like.
We can definitely, hopefully we don't change the overall, cause it's already like kind of made, but if you wanted, whatever you wanted to add or not have on it, it'd be 100%.
Cause it is a permanent sign, it should have a permanent, you know, like, pine, for instance. Doesn't it have pine as an element?
Yeah, that slab is like 20 years old though.
Oh, so it's antique pine.
I don't know
I mean,
what
if-
species it is.
So is it gonna need maintenance? Is someone gonna have to sand it down and refinish
I
it?
know you put, I can check with Hal to see what he already put on it, but you put on a pretty decent sealer, I think.
I
You
would
can always
think,
assign it to the Boom Days Committee and they're gonna be around maybe forever, and the borough rates,
That's right.
they'll be around forever, so when you have a group like that, instead of an individual person, they'll just, this is one of their jobs, what they do.
Yeah.
If that helps.
That's really my only concern, is that it looks classy. It's not kinda janky, no offense.
I think to,
I mean, I think when we started adding stuff on, like the shoes and I wanted like donkey or horse shoes on it, and we added all that stuff, but that was kind of making it more monumental.
Mm.
That I think we could eliminate, so it's just a nice clean look and probably more similar to like the road signs that we have out for the city. Cause those have that wood plank as well and then metal, but we can, I mean, if you wanna talk here or talk offline, whatever
Yeah, we
you
can
want
talk
to
real
do
quick.
pictures and, okay.
yeah, I think to your point, it's gonna behoove the people who are really interested in the signage to keep it in nice shape, because then you get another board of commissioners sitting here and they're like, this thing's falling apart, let's get rid of it, you know what I mean? So I think that could be like, just part of like the conditions or whatever, like, hey, like, just keep it in good shape. If it falls into disrepair, it runs the risk of being removed, I think would be a reasonable condition of.
Yeah, and if there's another sealer that you want on it instead,
No, I don't care.
that you think would last longer.
It's been such a long time since I even looked at the sign. I thought it had, does it have two metal posts, a spruce platform engraved in the spruce?
Right now, I think the only thing that's done, I can try to find on my phone how, but right now there's like railroad steel posts. Like that's what they had, I think they used some kind of railroad something or other
Yeah.
to like frame the piece of wood. So that's done, and the wood had been replaned and sealed.
Mm.
And I'm not even sure if they put the side posts on yet.
Mm.
And I think that's all that's been done, I just have the plaques of the winners, like those are done.
Okay.
And those are like anti-corrosive supposed to last forever also, you shouldn't need to go polish them, they're not like brass. But if you don't want, like we had, like we were gonna make, again, we haven't done anything but like metal cutouts of like someone running with the burrow, and we were gonna do like a female on one side and a male running with the burrow on the other side. On top of the monument. We were gonna do, just again, make it more monumental, but you have different monumental ideas than we do, so
Right.
that stuff hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put like a historical plaque on the bottom that just summarized why it's historical, and what the significance is, and so we can work on the wording or look at what that might look like, but kind of, I think we had it hanging from the bottom of the big plaque with it needs on it. So,
Well, I think you guys are on your way. It'd be nice if, I'd like to review just the look of it,
sounds good.
not to be a micromanager, but
No, I think that's all great.
it's what I'm famous for. At least in the construction world. If you guys are, I mean, would you guys want us to take a look at the sign before we
Like I can
agree?
pull it up, the picture that they have done so far.
You wanna just email it to us? And-
Yeah.
Maybe Lisa, could you send it to Sandra, so she can just put it in our packet for our discussion and approval?
Why don't I'll make sure if I get any other updated, if they've done any more work on it.
Okay.
Send it to you, 'cause that sounded
Perfect. Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
You still have my email address?
It should in here somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not finding it right off the bat.
It's just spettus@lakecountycode.gov.
Should we get them to send that to any info and stuff, send it to us individually? So that any communications direct back and forth instead of us having emailed?
If it
Yeah,
goes to
this was-
Sandra though,
Yeah,
She
if it
puts
comes
it in
to
the
me, I put it
packet.
in your packet and you can review it
Okay.
at one time. I can put it in today's packet and you can go back to it.
well, and it'll go into an agenda.
Yeah.
So then it would be on that. in the
Yeah.
packet.
Yeah, and I can just copy it over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until we, like, if we haven't decided what agenda it's going on yet.
Yeah.
But
I mean, either way is fine, as long as you're not discussing amongst yourselves outside the meeting, it doesn't matter if you're still through the viewer. No one else wanting.
I know this does not seem like something, you know, as weighty as most of the things we have to deal with in here, but thank you a lot for spending the time you did going through all this and this unintentional can of worms that we kinda,
Yeah, I mean, I love First Amendment stuff, I was,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
it's very interesting to me, yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. And it's interesting that we really just did a big circle and we're right back to where we started.
Well, we did our due diligence, there was some, you know, there was issues that were brought up to us by other legal professionals that raised some concerns, and I think it was important for us to make sure we weren't doing something that could expose the county and by proxy taxpayer dollars to some kind of risk, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, I think I got what I need.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Alright,
Alright,
I have no further questions.
So in order for the Borough Monument to come to us, have we made all the decisions that we need to make in order to inform that process?
We
We're
gotta,
gonna get the info from Lisa and Marvin
yeah,
about what its current iteration. And then we are going
Dimensions.
to approve it or not approve it, and that'll include location
yeah,
and content, right?
Yeah.
And by when, that they can put it in.
that's gonna be up, yeah.
sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Alright,
Thank you for your patience. Yeah.
Probably took a year.
Thank you for I can give some.
When is the borough race?
Booking you guys.
When is the it's
August
Boom
9th.
Days, August 9th.
Yeah. So it would be cool to have it up
Yeah.
by then for sure, but
Wait, is Boom Days the second week of the month
It's
this
the
year?
first
Second?
whole week.
First weekend,
So
okay,
because Friday is still September, or
Yeah.
still July,
yeah.
bumps everything back.
Oh, geez, and I got my dates wrong this year.
Yeah.
It's coming up quick.
So the busy sign, I just sent it to Sandra, the busy sign that's very poorly, me cutting and pasting and stuff, that looks ridiculous, because I'm not a professional, I did my best. That is whatever you guys are like, get rid of that, let's just have this, let's make it simplified. So essentially what's already been done, so you can see what we have to work with, and again, if you guys just wanna scrap that and you really want us to do something else, we can as well. I don't know what else we would do, but as far as, I don't think a ton of money has been spent, I mean, obviously Hal and Harrison's time
Mhm.
framing it up and welding, but we are not completely, this is not a thing that I have, we have 100% ownership on. So if you don't like the horseshoes, take that off, if you don't like the runners on top, take that off. Yeah, so that's what you want to do with it.
But you did that at our request, like, I can't, we asked you
You
to.
just said make it more monumental, so I was like,
Dress it up.
okay, let's see what else we can put on there.
So we're going full circle with that as well.
Yeah, if you want
Okay.
to take it back down to simpler, just a really
Like this is
nice,
circle.
clean look.
Okay,
What I do love about it is I do like that, the plaque at the bottom to explain it.
Mhm.
And that can be, like I was gonna send that off to some kind of designer to make it look. I don't even know what kind of metal it would be, if it would be like a iron or what that would be for like a metal plaque to hang at the bottom.
That's where I think it would be cool, probably not designed into the plaque, but maybe a thing that could be placed onto it with a QR code with the visitor center.
Yeah.
Or even the historic walking tour.
Mhm.
It'd be cool for people to like go learn more and,
I have that little QR code on there, and again, it
Okay,
does not look
sweet.
professional, but it's on there.
that's great, that's great, love it.
okay,
Thanks, guys.
we got some progress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your persistence,
Yeah,
keeps things
Yeah.
moving, sometimes we need to be reminded.
shall we conclude this work session?
Yes.
This concludes the work session of the county commissioners at 12:45 PM. Thanks all for coming.
Thanks, commissioners.
Thank you,
Stay
Sharon.
off, thank you, public.